today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Richard says he wants to become the slickest domestic violence abuser ever.
I do it because I want to make a point. If you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to shut it.
He doesn't just admit to beating his girlfriend.
When I grew tired of using my hands, I used my feet.
He says he enjoys it.
You said you are addicted to abusing Jordan.
I had black eyes. My jaw was broken.
Jordan deals with it every day, so she can't possibly be a victim.
You've tried to drown her, you've stabbed her, you've stomped her. How is she not a victim? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Imagine for me, if you will, that your daughter's boyfriend comes to you and admits that he is so abusive and violent with your daughter that he's afraid that he's going to kill her. Now, Mindy claims that's exactly what happened when her daughter's boyfriend, Richard, came to her last year and confessed that he had stabbed Jordan and attempted to drown her. Now, according to Mindy, Richard also admitted that he has beaten and stomped out Jordan so badly that he was forced to keep her hidden in a motel room for 2 weeks until her injuries had healed. Now, Mindy is petrified that Richard is going to kill her little girl. Take a look.
Richard is Satan, and I hate him.
I'll tell you the truth. I beat out of Jordan. You with me, I'm gonna put everything I got on you.
He is extremely verbally abusive, physically abusive. There's no limit.
You're gonna be my bitch. My bitch is gonna do my laundry.
These police reports are from when Richard had severely physically abused Jordan. Within the few months of Jordan dating Richard, I started noticing bruises on her arms, her thighs, split lips.
I do it because I want to make a point. Shut your mouth. If you don't shut your mouth, I'm gonna shut it.
Richard has told me he would kill her. One time, Richard took a chair and broke it over Jordan's back. She's got a stab wound underneath her arm where she had gone up to block herself. He's tried to drown her.
If I'm going as far as beating your ass, there's always a huge reason.
As recent as a month ago, she was knocking on my door in the middle of the night. They were fighting, and she told me if she didn't come here that night that she felt like he was going to do something.
When you have problems, you address your problems.
Yes,
right?
but I don't address them with my hands on you.
Well, my problems are extinguished with my hands.
Richard has complete control over Jordan and controls her every move. Richard has brainwashed Jordan into believing that he's going to change, and she believes him.
They'll be good for a couple months, and after a couple months, you go freaking crazy.
If Jordan does not get the courage to leave Richard, he's going to eventually kill her.
Now, Mindy says that she tried to save Jordan's life by having Richard arrested. But after his release, she claims that he beat Jordan's face nearly beyond recognition. To make matters worse, Mindy says after her call to the police, Jordan turned her back on her mother for nearly 2 years.
2.5, 3 years ago, Jordan's little sister started texting me saying she's wearing dark glasses. I can see bruises on her neck, on the side of her face. I went to the house, and Richard was sitting at the table, just sitting there, just balling his fists like this. The room was all dark. The blinds were shut. Jordan had 2 black eyes. There was no definition between the eye sockets. It was clear that she had received a broken nose. It was horrible. I wanted to just collapse. Richard immediately looked at me and he says, "What, you think I did this?" I got in the car, and first thing I did was call the cops.
Ricky's appearances are not going away. I'm going to keep it real with you this whole time. That girl is bruised up bad.
After Richard was arrested, he spent approximately 2.5 months in jail. Jordan ended up dropping the charges. Jordan was doing what Richard wanted her to do. I was blamed for the arrest. For 2 years, there was no communication with Jordan. Friends would see Jordan in public places and they would say she has black eyes. They lived homeless. They had a tent that they would stay in various places in. This was the worst time of my life. She was in a dark place and there was not a damn thing I could do.
Well, I'm glad you're here so we can talk about this. And I want to be very clear to you and to everyone at home. Since we began working on this story, Jordan's safety has really been our top priority. For instance, when she said she couldn't do her pre-interview on the phone because Richard was around, we waited 2 days until she could talk. We made sure to go through Richard for all logistics so he never felt like Jordan was talking to us alone or going behind his back. We made sure Jordan and Richard traveled with you and even stayed in the same hotel so you at least felt like you had some access and she wasn't just out there. We even made sure their hotel room was on the ground floor just in case an argument ensued and someone accidentally got pushed out of a window or something like that. We try to think about these things. Even right now, Jordan and Richard are not listening to any of this because we don't want to trigger anything. What is the worst beating that you've heard of?
There's several. There's one where he stabbed her. I don't know the particulars on it. I do know that she's got a scar on her left arm from where she was going up to block herself from him trying to stab her. I have heard a little bit about where he had beat her so badly that he had kind of put her up in a hotel, I believe, for a period of time so that she could heal. The time that her little sister had found her, she had black eyes, bite marks on her neck, her back, her breasts. There was no definition in between her eye sockets and her nose. I mean, those are just the ones that I know of.
What is your greatest fear today?
My greatest fear is he's going to kill her.
She says that he has told her numerous times that he will kill her.
Yes, he's told me.
I've made some notes about this, that she says that he has kicked and punched her repeatedly, bitten her all over her body, blacked her eyes, bruised her ribs, but has never sought medical attention. One night that he beat, kicked, and stomped her so hard that she was absolutely unrecognizable. I know that's terrible to hear, and I hate that, but you need to know what we're dealing with here and why it is so critical that we do whatever we have to today to get her away. And when we talk to him, he says his greatest fear is that he's going to go to jail for murder. He believes that she seems to like getting hit and that she wants the abuse because there is no other reason she would stay.
That's not true. She's tired, but I feel like she's in so deep she doesn't know which way to go, and I don't know what to do.
He said the devil inside him is an uncontrollable monster, and he says when he is angry, there is no stopping him. He will beat anyone until he has no energy left or feels satisfied. And he warns Jordan that if she triggers him, he will beat her, and that if she gets in a fetal position to protect herself, it infuriates him and he beats her more.
You know why? I kept telling her, ball up, get in a fetal position, protect your head.
He said he's beat her so much that he's hurt his shoulder, and that he says he wants to become the slickest domestic violence abuser ever. He has just stomped her and beat her ass good because she made him upset, and that's when he grabbed a knife, and he knew when he grabbed it that he was going to kill her that night.
This is why they don't have knives in their house.
And that's what we're dealing with here. That's got to stop. That's my goal.
Thank you.
Well, Richard and Jordan are here. Richard admits that he actually enjoys abusing Jordan. We're going to talk to both of them after the break.
I had knocked her out. When I grew tired of using my hands, I used my feet.
Richard was punching me repeatedly, kicking my back, kicking my ribs.
Jordan accused me of cheating. I don't cheat, so the only way I can show her I don't cheat, I smacked her.
And later, what is it about her that bothers you?
She's out to get me. She's gonna pull a bullet in my head.
I want this cycle to stop.
Don't call me a psycho.
I said cycle. Cycle.
Okay.
Listen.
Monday.
Even though I was using drugs, I consider myself a good mother.
Your niece was born addicted and spent months in the hospital because she was in withdrawal.
That is correct.
A mother wants her daughter back,
Do you have a
I have
house?
housing for her right now. Yes,
Okay,
I do.
where?
I have in a shelter.
claiming she's a fit parent.
Your daughter had missed 70 days of school.
I'm a drug addict in recovery, and I think I deserve a lot more credit.
It's not about you, it's about the child.
That's Monday. Then on Tuesday, from top model to an alcoholic,
You're living in squalor.
These are all my throw-up bags.
living with her dad.
She's died twice under your care.
New Dr. Phil, Tuesday.
Jordan admits that her boyfriend, Richard, has stabbed and beaten her so badly that she didn't even recognize her own face in the mirror. Now, Richard admits that he is what he says addicted to abusing Jordan.
Is Jordan safe? She'll get the wrath of me with my hands, and she'll continue on her day, and that's how it is with me. When I get angry, I turn into the devil.
I am always worried that he may lash out. If Richard doesn't get his way, he will hit me, bite me. I've had bruised ribs and black eyes.
I have knocked her out. When I grew tired of using my hands, I used my feet. When Jordan is taking the beating from me, I feed off that. It's almost like I'm a vicious lion attacking a poor zebra. Jordan is a superhero. How she can take the pain, the licks, and get up. There's many times I beat her so bad, Jordan wasn't moving. She was lifeless. For some odd reason, she's saved by the grace of God. Something tells me, enough, 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 enough. And that's when Jordan's saved.
Richard has told me numerous times that he's going to kill me. One time, Richard tried to drown me at the beach.
I thought she was looking at my cousin too much, and I tried to drown her.
Richard grabbed my hair, threw me under the water. I kept trying to breathe, and I was choking. I really thought I was gonna die. There was another occasion where he accused me of cheating. Richard was punching me repeatedly, kicking my back, kicking my ribs. And he came over to me and had a knife. Just as he was about to stab me, I raised my arm to cover my face, and he got me.
Yeah, I've used a weapon. I can remember that like it was yesterday.
I had black eyes, nose was big, my jaw was actually broken.
I didn't recognize her.
Richard had beaten me so bad that he sent me to a hotel for 2 weeks. I was not allowed to leave at all.
I didn't want nobody knowing her condition.
He needs to work on his anger, but I think I can fix Richard.
Jordan's not safe. There's gonna be a funeral.
Well, Richard blames Jordan for triggering his abuse. He admits that when he sees her on the floor crying, it only makes him want to hit her more.
Anything could set Richard off. You never really know.
Thing, don't touch no more.
You kind of triggered me.
I could do something little, could trigger him. It could be talking back. Everybody talks back to people.
When Jordan's there and she seems helpless, it irritates me. It's always a trigger. If we're out in public and she moves because I moved my hand, it shows that there's fear in this relationship. It really irritates me. And when we get back in the car, I take care of it. We go out to eat, and it becomes this huge argument. And she can't figure out what the she wants. Come on, pick up place.
Richard criticizes me all the time when I drive.
She drives like a she doesn't use a blinker. She hits curbs. She stops at the last minute. I grab the wheel, and we go off the road, almost hitting a wall, hitting the car next to us.
Richard hates being questioned.
Jordan accused me of cheating. I don't cheat, so the only way I can show her I don't cheat, I smacked her.
One time, we were sleeping in a tent, and Richard had a fit. He started hitting me repeatedly on the head, punching me.
She was moving too much in bed. I whammed her. Did a haymaker on her back. She took it like a champ, and she didn't move.
Just wait. You just wait. No, I don't. At all. I don't.
Jordan does act like a victim. I can't stand it. If Dr. Phil can't figure out what the hell is going on, why is Dr. Phil Dr. Phil? Poor Jordan, right? Poor Jordan.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. You two have a violent, volatile relationship, true?
It's toxic, yes. Yeah.
And it gets really physical, correct?
It's physical.
You said you are addicted to abusing Jordan.
Addicted?
What do you mean addicted?
Well, that was the word I said at the time, because being addicted is something that happens a lot. So that's why I chose that word.
And you said you get instant gratification. You feel better immediately when you're doing it.
That I can agree with.
Has anybody done that with you?
Yeah,
when you were growing up?
All my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who hit you the most?
I can't pinpoint just one man.
How would they abuse you? How would they hit you?
Go get
fist, board, sticks?
Whatever was relevant at the time. If we weren't where there was a switch, I had to pick from the tree. A kick in the ass, get from me.
Uh-huh.
Little boy, you know, so.
Did it make you angry?
Yeah, maybe I was confused why these things were happening.
Yeah. Have you saved that anger? I mean, has that burned inside you?
That anger has been on a bonfire, and every day I wake up, there's a new log on that fire.
I want to try to understand you instead of judge you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And I really want to do that because I think you need help, and I want to try to help you instead of judge you.
It's a terrible thing what I'm about to tell you, Dr. Phil. It's not my fault. You know, I want to say and accept, hey, it's my fault. I need to go to prison, but you know what? I don't, and it's not my fault.
She is in the fetal position with you hitting her and kicking her.
Jordan deals with it every day, so she can't possibly be a victim.
My greatest fear is I'm going to go to jail for murder.
Yes,
You thought you killed her.
I did. I thought I killed her. There is no stop sign.
And later,
Mindy is out to get
Everyone's out to get me.
he can beat the crap out of you every day, and you stay there and talk to him. She calls someone to help you, and you don't talk to her for 2 years. Look, the town fool knows what you're doing is not okay. You know what you're doing is not okay. You don't need me to tell you that.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure this out. Has it become so automatic that there isn't a thought process there?
Yeah.
I mean, do you go from 0 to 60 like that?
0 to 100 like that.
There's no, and listen, I believe you. I believe you.
Yes, there's no no, there's no in between. It's just, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna get it over with and I'm gonna feel okay, like I did what I wanted to do, and let's go about our day.
You said I feel instant gratification from beating the out of her. And you say I manage her with my hands, but you say I also know that my greatest fear is I'm gonna go to jail for murder.
Yes, it started with me trying to drown Jordan. I don't know why. It was in public in front of everyone. I did it, and if I can do that in public, what am I gonna do behind closed doors? And I'm scared that maybe from going 0 to 100, that's gonna be the end of the road for both of us.
Okay, this is a quote from you. You said you have screamed at her, "Why the you acting like a victim for, bitch?"
I get tired of it.
Tired of what?
Her acting like a victim.
Okay, now this is when she is in the fetal position on the floor with you hitting her and kicking her. Okay, if she's not a victim at that point, what is she?
Jordan deals with it every day, so she can't possibly be a victim in my eyes.
But you said that you're triggered by her not picking a restaurant quick enough. You're triggered by the way she drives. You're triggered by the things that she says. I mean, you have so many triggers. She can't not trigger you. And you also said, I wake up angry. I am pissed off every day of my life. I wake up pissed off. I go to bed pissed off. I go through life pissed off. I am angry inside. It burns like a bonfire. Weren't you a victim when these jerks were pounding on you when you were a kid?
Right, I was a victim.
Then how is she not a victim?
Because it's a routine, maybe. It's a routine, so...
She ought to leave you.
Well, I don't...
She ought to be smart enough to leave you?
I don't like when he said, should she leave?
Why is this okay with you?
It's not.
Based on results, it is. You don't press charges. Because he said, you know, why does it always have to be that you leave? You could stay and hold him accountable, but you don't. You could press charges, but you don't.
I feel like he's going to change.
He says that he actually thinks that you think you deserve this, that you enjoy being hit.
No, not at all.
Well, how is he misreading that?
I think he's misreading me 100%.
I'm misreading her right now. It's your time to say something, say it. She should leave. She should leave, right? Right? But Dr. Phil, does that really help anything?
Oh, hell yes.
What? Her leaving, but what about this problem? You can fix one domestic abuser one at a time.
Okay, but now hold on a minute. Be commonsensical, not self-righteous. If you had a daughter that was getting the hell beat out of her every day, would the first alternative be to get away from the person hitting her? Be commonsensical.
Yes.
Come on.
I get that.
That helps her because it gets her out of the danger zone. Then it's time to help you.
Okay.
Is there a line that you won't cross with her?
Is there a line that I won't cross? Being loving.
Well, you're a peach.
Yes, it's on his terms. He'll hold your hand on his, and it's all on his terms. He'll hug you, kiss you.
But no, I'm saying do you have a stop button?
There's no...
I mean, you've tried to drown her, you've stabbed her, you've beat her, you've stomped her. Is there a point where you won't go?
No, because I've already thought I've been there, and for some reason...
You thought you killed her.
I did. I thought I killed her, and I saw her move, and so, no, there is no point.
Okay.
There is no stop sign.
Well, here's the thing. You need to understand, if you don't fix this, you're going to spend your life in the penitentiary, because if you don't kill her, you're going to kill somebody else.
I stabbed her, yeah.
Yeah. So
the
point is, if it's not her, it'll be 2 years from now, it'll be somebody else. So you need to fix this for you, if not for her. There's more to this story. Richard has a 10-year-old son who, according to Jordan, has witnessed firsthand his father's violence and abuse. And that just very well may be the thing that inspires this man to do what he needs to do. We'll be right back.
I'm very concerned for Richard's son because I can slowly see him turning into Richard.
Gotcha.
He flipped the desk at school. He grabbed someone's arm. He's telling me that he doesn't have to listen to me. He's watching what his dad's doing. He thinks it's okay. The worst part is that Richard's son has seen the abuse. He's heard Richard call me fat, bitch, shut up, or stupid, you're ugly. It's awful. If Richard's son continues to see the verbal and physical abuse, he'll end up just like his dad.
Jordan says much of what she has endured has been in front of the watchful eyes of Richard's 10-year-old son. Now, Ashley is the mother of this little boy and says after Richard was arrested for abusing her, she did end things. But she, too, worries about what her son has witnessed.
I completely understand what Jordan is going through because I dealt with it myself. During our relationship, Richard was abusive mentally, emotionally, and physically. Every time Richard would lash out at me, he would always cry, apologize, say he was sorry, he would never do it again. I would take it back, and then they would repeat. Richard and I got into an argument one evening. He was literally pulling me by my hair. He picked me up and tossed me into his mom's room where I hit the corner of her dresser, and that's when I split my head open. I had bleach blonde hair, and my hair was literally red. There was so much blood. He made me stay at his mom's house for 3 days, took my phone, and did not let me leave. One time, I was cooking dinner. He didn't want to tend to our child, and he basically went off the deep end. He picked our son up and tossed him about 5 feet away onto the couch because he was upset with me. He slapped me and then started pulling my hair, and my parents had to intervene. I was basically done with the situation, and I cut ties with him, and that was it. My son has definitely seen the abuse in the home with Jordan and Richard. My son has told me about an incident that happened where Richard had hit Jordan in the face with a broomstick. My son somehow intervened, and his dad accidentally elbowed him in the cheek. It's very upsetting that my son is seeing the verbal and physical abuse. Richard should turn his life around, you know, do what's right for his son.
Tell me about your son. Good boy?
He's my saving grace. I love that boy.
Good boy?
Great boy.
The most powerful role model for that boy is you. And they start to mimic even little nuances of who you are. Things that were put on you as you were coming up, you're now modeling for him, and he's going to do exactly what you're doing if you don't do something to change it. This is his mom right here, right? You're his mom, Ashley?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, how's he doing at school?
He definitely has behavioral issues. He's flipped desks, he's stood on tables and chairs. Yes.
If you begin to change, then you'll see changes as him because he'll continue to watch you. But now, you said you think he can change and you want to help him.
Yes.
Do you think you're helping him with what you're doing now?
No.
And when you said, okay, it's accountability time, you called the police, right?
I did.
And then you didn't talk to her for 2 years?
No, I didn't.
Why?
I was more upset at her because of how she handled it. And I thought she would have handled it a totally different way than calling the police.
He can beat the crap out of you every day, and you stay there and talk to him. She calls someone to help you, and you don't talk to her for 2 years. You have to explain that to me. I'm lost.
I was out of anger.
What do you want for her?
I want her to live a happy and healthy life. I want her free of the toxicity, and I want this cycle to stop.
Don't call me a psycho.
I said cycle.
Oh.
Cycle.
Okay.
Listen.
What is it about her that bothers you so much?
She's out to get me. Mindy is out to
He thinks
get
everyone's
me.
out to get him. Everyone. You look
I'm
at
also
him.
the person who's extended the olive branch and
And I
embraced
appreciate it.
him.
Mindy,
No,
for
you
some
haven't.
reason, I'm warming up to you.
So you're warming up. Richard, when a blank tries to control me, I have a blank problem with that. Richard, not in front of my kids, stupid bitch. Mindy, zebras can't change their stripes. Richard, shut up, fat bitch. Mindy, call Ashley and send that kid home as soon as possible. He does not need to hear that. Richard, don't worry about my mother blank kid, bitch. Can't build a case on me, blank. Just given what you have said, that you've hit her so much and so hard that you hurt your shoulder, that you have stomped on her with your feet, that you beat her ass good, all of these things, what exactly do you expect a mother's attitude to be?
I'm scared she has the key to my house. She's gonna pull a bullet in my head. That's my take on it.
On at least 2 occasions, he's actually thought he did kill you. He thought you were dead.
Richard has a laundry list of expectations, and if I don't do it, Richard will get very upset.
I expect her to pick up after me. If things aren't done in the house, don't come to me and bitch. I'm lazy. You do it.
Richard likes to be the center of the universe. He is the king of the castle. Women have their roles and men have theirs.
Jordan, she's gonna clean, she's gonna cook, do laundry. I work 14 hours. She's gonna do everything. Simple as that. She'll cook a pot roast. Thank you. What really did you do? What compliment are you fishing for? What else do you want, bitch? Do you want a high five?
It puts a lot of pressure on me because I take care of him, take care of myself. I'm trying to make sure his kid's doing well in school. I'm trying to study for college and much more.
My biggest pet peeve, that she wants every minute of my time. I want time alone. Time is me hanging out with my friends. Time is me going in the shower alone without her wanting to get in there.
Oh my gosh, it is very frustrating.
It's a cat and dog fight. It would never be right. But you can never meet my expectations.
When you talk to her that way, do you really feel that way about her?
I don't hear myself talk that way.
When you heard yourself just now, what'd you think?
Just now, looking at him, it's disgusting, but I mean, majority of the time, I guess I do talk to her that way.
Do you think you deserve better than that?
I do.
Well, your enthusiasm is underwhelming. No, really, do you think that you're a second-class citizen in some way? Do you think that you're not as good as other people in some way? I know you were bullied. Did the bullies get to you?
Yeah, a little.
Because, see, everybody has a personal truth. And it's kind of what they believe about themselves. And I think that's really important to know because we generate the results in life we believe we deserve. All the best things are for them, not for me. It's for them, not for me. And I'm just wondering if you feel that way.
Could be.
Must be, because otherwise you wouldn't allow yourself to be violated, talked to this way, demeaned, your life threatened, and you're lucky to be alive. On at least 2 occasions, he's actually thought he did kill you and was surprised when you moved. He thought you were dead. And the fact that that's okay with you tells me it must be what you think you deserve. Do you agree with me that her self-worth is damaged?
Yes, I agree 100%.
Can you conceive of treating a woman with respect?
I want that more than anything, yes. I can conceive that. I can see myself doing that, yeah. I want to.
There is someone I want Richard and Jordan to meet. Audrey survived the unthinkable after being set on fire by her own husband. This is a cautionary tale of survival. After the break.
He immediately took me into the garage. He laid me on the ground first and was trying to rape me. And I was saying to him, you know, what are you doing? I love you, I love you. Chris was the type of man that constantly accused me of cheating on him. He was a controlling man. He was a jealous man, but he never hit me. I left school that day, came home. As soon as I opened the door is when he bum rushed me, stark naked, with a butcher knife. He immediately took me into the garage. He laid me on the ground first and was trying to rape me with a butcher knife to my throat. And I was saying to him, you know, what are you doing? I love you, I love you. He then struck me in the head with a hammer 4 times. He threw gasoline at me, grabbed a candle, and tossed the candle at me. And I went up in flames.
Investigators say it appears Christopher Haney doused his wife, Audrey Mabry, with some sort of flammable liquid and then lit her on fire.
I began to pray, God, just let me live, just let me live. I spun up, opened the garage, and ran out. And this neighbor ran to me as I was rolling in the grass and hit me with her son's jacket. That was it. He'll never take away my future. He'll never take away my happiness. He'll never take away my character. You wanted the beauty? Take it. You can have it.
Please welcome Audrey. So good to see you again.
Thank you.
How are you?
Fantastic. Praise God.
Yeah. Before this happened, you were never hit.
No. I was never hit, and it went from 0 to 100 real quick.
You've already crossed so many markers. You're afraid for her.
Absolutely. She is in imminent danger. She is only one attack away from death.
And for you, you didn't have all these stops on the subway.
No.
It just happened like that. How many surgeries have you been through?
Sometimes I lose track. 17, though, and 9 procedures.
17 surgeries, 9 procedures. And where is he?
He is serving life plus 60 years in prison.
But for the grace of God, this could be you, and you could be him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it is just, it just one day. You could be the man that's doing life plus 60, and you could be right where she is or dead. What would you two have given to have been sitting where they are right now and had an intervention to stop this before it happened? What difference would that have made in your lives?
You know, there's so many casualties in this situation. We have 2 children together, 2 sons actually, and they don't get to see their father. He doesn't get to see them. And so to have had that experience, even if it was just for them, I'm sure we would both give anything at this point.
When we come back, I'm going to tell these 2 what I think they need to do, and we'll see if they're ready to do it. We'll be right back. This is one of the most blatant abuse situations I've ever had anybody own up to. You have 2 major problems that need to be taken care of immediately. One, I think you have a serious impulse control disorder, and I think that's neurological. And secondly, I think what's happened to you earlier in your life has left you with a seething anger, and I want to help you with those 2 things. And the first thing I want to do is send you to a place called the PNP Center. It's the Psychoneuroplasticity Center in Dallas, Texas. And this is where Dr. Frank Lawless and Dr. Barbara Peavy have what I believe to be the foremost diagnostic center in the country that deal with neurological function. Then I want to offer to send you to a place called Onsite. And Onsite is the worldwide leader in intensive workshops and treatment specializing in people that have been through trauma. And while you're there, I want to send you somewhere as well to find that worth and that value so you can stand tall and be someone that knows what you want and feels the strength that you want. So what I want is for you 2 to leave here, and you go one direction and you go the other, and both of y'all work independently on yourselves, and then make a decision from a position of strength and tranquility about what you want to do moving forward. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that? You make a deal? Are you willing to take that help? And look, we'll handle the flights, everything. All you got to do is be a willing spirit.
Okay.
Fair enough? Okay? Okay? All right. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to the organization that is offering resources to keep Jordan safe and help her work on finding that self-worth and bettering her life. I want to thank Dr. Frank Lawless and Dr. Barbara Peavy and the PNP Center. And I also want to thank Miles Adcox and OnSite for offering to help Richard. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Audrey, good to see you.